bring out in class, and like I said, we want to get brothers in that spirit to where we on that like a well-oiled machine.
Shalom, shalom. Giving honor and praise to the Most High and His Son Yahweh Shai. Coming to y'all on a Wednesday class. The name of the class is called "Don't Try to Find a Loophole in the Law." Us in Israel, man, we got a problem by doing it, man. A lot of our people, they'll trim their ways, trying to justify the wickedness in their lifestyle. But one thing about God's laws, these are straight commandments that the Most High God give us, man. We can't trim our ways for our families, for our friends, and not even for our own selves, man. Because the kingdom of heaven is within you. So you got the Most High giving you a choice that you can either choose this kingdom or you ain't got to choose the kingdom, man. First precept we go into is Romans chapter 10, verse 3.
Romans chapter 10 and verse 3. For they being ignorant of God's righteousness.
He said, they being ignorant of God's righteousness. It's all of us, man. We all been ignorant of God's righteousness. Even in this walk. Some of us get ignorant in God's righteousness because we take on what our fleshly self want to do, man. Read.
And going about to establish their own righteousness.
To going about to establish their own righteousness, man. That's something that we got to shake in Israel, man. Man, the Most High looking at us as known liars. That's like you got a son, you got to keep chastening it over and over again. His word ain't gonna be worth a damn to you no more, man. We got to make good on what we put to the Most High, man. We make a vow to a brother or a sister, we must keep them vows. If we say some things that we must do, if the Most High, He gonna hold us to a higher standard for us to rule the world, we got to be able to make sure that we doing this thing according to His laws, man. How He told us to do it, man. Read.
Have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God.
See, we have not submitted ourselves to the righteousness of God. Therefore, it means we going backwards when we do that thing, man. We got to get our minds shaped up to the laws. We can't make the Bible fit our life. You got to make your life fit the Bible. Everybody want to say, well, my wife said that no, you are to obey God rather than man. Well, my children say you are to obey God rather than man. The things we try to get in our mind, we don't obey God rather than man. Jeremiah 17 and 9. Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. Because a lot of times we want to feed, we make provisions for our flesh, man. And we ain't obeying God rather than man. When we become duty to our God, man. Shalaki, jump up to verse 5.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 5. Thus saith the Lord. Cursed be the man that trusted in man. He
said, cursed be the man that trusted in man, man. We in Israel, we do a lot of trusting in man. And that man it is going into the pastor, but it's also going into yourself. We trust ourselves more than we trust anything. And we supposed to be leaning to the Most High. We supposed to be, when you get into the truth, it's the point in your life that you got to forget about yourself, and now all of a sudden you got to come into what the Most High gave us, man, which is His laws. And we got to live into His laws. And we got to walk accordingly to His laws. We can't turn these things around, man. Read up.
And make of flesh His arm.
And making flesh His arm. That you making your flesh your strength. Arms is going into the strength, man. We feeding our flesh and not getting fed by the word. Brothers and sisters, and even the brothers that's watching on YouTube, some watching on Facebook, even the brothers and sisters in here, could y'all say that y'all open y'all Bible every day and read a chapter? I'm talking to the children, I'm talking to the women, and I'm talking to the men. Do y'all open y'all Bible every day and read a chapter? Everybody can't say it though. Everybody can't say it. So then guess what? The weakest link in our congregation, we should be encouraging the weakest one to read a chapter a day. This is our mind. If we gonna go to the kingdom, if we gonna rule this world in righteousness, we must have the tools to rule the world. If we don't got the tools to rule the world, we ain't gonna know how to rule the world, man.
And frankly, guess what? Brothers and sisters should want to read a chapter every day. Brothers in leadership shouldn't have to constantly ask brothers and sisters, are they reading?
For real.
Brothers and sisters should just want to read the chapter. Like we always say, this is our photo album. When each time you open up these scriptures, all you're doing is reading about us, reading about yourself in the scriptures. Go ahead, Op.
Come on, read on, Op.
And whose heart departed from the Lord.
And whose heart departed from the Lord, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 14 verse 34, man. We got to change the way that we think, man. This thing is built up for us, man. The Bible is set up for us to have a perfect life. It's literally set up for us to have a perfect life. The 2nd Ezra 14 and 34. This Bible is set up for us to have a perfect life. Guess what? This Bible is set up for have a perfect marriage. This Bible is set up for us to get our children in order. This Bible is set up perfect way for a wife to follow her husband, and the perfect way for a husband to follow Christ. It's set up this way for us, man. But we gotta take what we given, man, and apply it, man. Read that out.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 14 and verse 34. Therefore, if so be that ye will subdue your own understanding.
Because we got to subdue, we got to leave out what we know, man. It's time to trust. It's time to start trusting in the Most High, man. Quit trying to find loopholes and well, this is Sabbath day. Well, I can shoot, man. I ain't bad before the sun went down. I know the Lord give me a little grace.
Or even like another example with birthdays. Well, I didn't say happy birthday, I just said happy born day. Negro, stop.
Stop playing the game.
Stop. Just stop. Because you are already conjuring up in your mind how to even go about it. You don't think the Most High God know that? Like really, man. Most High, He created subtlety and trickery. So you think He ain't gonna know it once He see it? Stop. You just gotta cut it all the way out, man.
Read on up.
And reform your hearts.
It said to reform. That means to repent, man. Repent. Reforming your heart is changing your mind, man. Read.
Ye shall be kept alive.
He said we shall be kept alive, man. Read.
And after death ye shall obtain mercy.
And after death you shall obtain mercy. This is what the Lord is requiring of us, man.
That's right. Hold up right quick, Al. Any brother got a precept. What could you precept with right quick? What you got, Shadal?
I got Proverbs 3 and 5.
That's good, Brothers need to have that, man. We need to see all brothers' hands going up if brothers is actually writing in their Bibles. I'm going to read it right quick. You got it.
Go ahead.
All right.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. Oh, stop missing that part right there.
Okay. Let me read. The book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy paths.
So that's one. Read on.
Verse 7. Be not wise in thine own eyes.
Read.
Fear the Lord, and depart from evil.
He said, don't be wise in your own eyes.
That's right.
Don't do it, man.
Right.
Look, these laws say what it say, man. If we follow these laws, man, tomorrow life can be so much better, man. When a brother or a sister's trying to vex your spirit, if you was led by the Spirit, it wouldn't vex you. You only apply Matthew 18:15 when somebody offending you. But if they don't offend you, you ain't got to apply that thing, man. It's only good when you need to apply it, man. Because if you think you offended me and I don't take it as an offense, I ain't got to apply Matthew 18:15. You just did some mess. And every idle word that you just did, you're going to be held accountable. It ain't going to be on me because that's what you want to do. Micah chapter 6 and verse 8. That's what you want to do. You ain't got to apply. You ain't got to apply that if you don't need it at the time, man. But if you do need to apply it, you must follow the guidelines by it.
But being so sensitive all the time.
Real, man.
Every time somebody say something, y'all got I need to apply Matthew 15:8. I mean, God dang it. See, some of that too. Alright, they ain't bother you going on. They said it, run their mouth, then let them deal with it. Because when you make it a problem for you, you got to apply Matthew 18:15. So some of the stuff I just tell Jerubbaal, I just let it go. Because if I have to deal with it, that means I have to apply that. I have to follow the law. So sometimes I don't even feel like going and say something, so I just let the whole thing go.
You always say squash it.
Yeah, you know I'm right. I say it all the time, squash it. Let it go, leave it alone, man. But like I said, but if it's gonna bother you, y'all quit being so sensitive all the time. Everything. They said something, man, been getting talked about all my life. Think I'm gonna worry about it now, because oh well. Go on, move on. Go ahead,
But that's the whole thing, like I'm going into. I mean, you know how your life go. Everybody, look here, everybody not gonna like Benaniyah. They just not gonna like it. No matter how lovable this old man is, they just not gonna like Benaniyah. No matter how good he try to be to them, they just not gonna like him. Me, guess what? Everybody not gonna like me. I can accept it. But just because you don't like me, do I gotta treat you bad? No. I can let you make it. But one thing about it, don't take your meekness for the weakness though, because brothers don't play the game now. Don't get it twisted. Don't ever get the thing twisted. Because the Most High took them street niggas out of the street and put them in the church, man. Right. And told them that they was Israelites and told them how to live. But he ain't gonna let them play the game, because guess what? We ain't no run over. You ain't gonna run over. We're gonna deal with you according to the Bible in righteousness. Don't play the game. Read it up. 18:6, ain't it? Proverbs.
Yeah. The book of Micah, chapter 6, and verse 8. He has showed thee, oh man, what is good.
He showed us what is good, man. The Most High showed us what is good.
What's good, huh?
Romans 7:12.
All praise,
My bad, slide.
Hey, quick draw McGraw.
Quick draw McGraw. Where's that you supposed to be?
That's right, man. Quick.
Read.
And what doeth the Lord require of thee?
Now what do the Lord require of thee?
What's the precept? What's the precept for what the Lord require of thee?
Around 10 and 12.
All praise,
Good job.
It's another one.
It's another one.
Yeah, go ahead and
Come
get
on
another one. We use it all the time.
Come on, another one. Y'all should have had a 50-round drum with this one, man.
What you got, Brother Samuel? What you got to hiss him out?
Steph, what you got?
I'm trying to look away.
Steven?
Yeah.
Smiling. Yeah, man.
Osha. Osha is that name.
Osha.
Yeah, that means happiness, man.
All praise. They told me. Let's get this. Let's go get the other one. Y'all don't know it, man.
Hold on. We might have it. So now what you got?
I got Matthew 22 and 37. What about
Who said that?
Who said that?
I said it.
Oh, praise you, man. It's out of Babbitt.
Which one?
Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let's read it, man, for the brothers and sisters, man.
Yeah. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13.
Reads, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man.
This is the whole duty of man.
All praise. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing whether it be good or whether it be evil.
So let's go back to Micah. Chapter.
What you got out?
It's another one, ain't it?
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy 30 and 19.
You and your children may live. Nah, we ain't give you that one. We don't give you that one. That's a good precept, but we don't give you that on it. We already said that.
Oh, well, how about 6 and 2?
That's Jerubbaal.
Yeah, man. I know it. Let's go back, man. Micah 6 and 8, man.
The book of Micah, chapter 6 and verse 8. He has shewed thee, O man, what is good.
I said Romans 7 and 12. That was correct. Read.
And what doeth the Lord require of thee?
Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Read.
But to do justly.
What's justly, though? What's just? Now we see who really know it now. What's just? Now, all you precept getters. Y'all ain't get it? You say you got a whole lot. What's the just?
Leviticus 19 and 36.
I see what you doing.
Yes, sir.
See what you doing.
That precept. I got a precept up.
No, that's not what we want.
Huh?
No.
That ain't what you
That's
want?
not what we want. No.
I'll give you a hint, Brother Brandon. You had already said it.
You already
You
said
just got to
it.
read it all the way through.
Read it again. Romans 7 and 12. Read that again.
Romans 7.
Yeah, Romans 7 and 12. Yeah, the back of your book ain't got that one there. Read that Romans 7 and 12.
Acting up.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 12. Wherefore, the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just,
And it's what?
and just,
Read.
and good.
And it's good, man. And it's good. Go back. Let's go and read that Micah 6 and 8 on now, man.
And to love mercy.
So what is what that's saying? What is just? What is
Keeping the commandments is just.
the law?
Come.
Are just.
Read from the top.
Read.
He has shewed thee, O man, what is good, and what doeth the Lord and what doeth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, and to love mercy,
And to love. Mercy, read.
and to walk humbly with thy God.
Because this is what our requirement for us to do is to walk humbly with our God. We can't straddle, man. Straddling that fence is a dangerous sight, man, for Israel. That's what the Most High. That's why he kept on bringing the hammer down. You know how your child, you tell him, hey man, be in by 12 o'clock. He come in 11:59. He come in 11:59. Hey man, I told you to be in by 12. Well, Dad, it's 11:59. Okay, try it again tomorrow and see what's gonna happen. We cannot keep. We want to. Well, I'm telling you, we want to find. Look here. We want to find that loophole in that thing, man. We can't play with our God, man. Go ahead, up.
Like I said, you can't be playing around, man. We can't straddle the fence. And Christ said it out his own mouth. Romans 3 and 15. Romans chapter 3 and verse 15. And it reads, I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot.
Revelation.
I said Romans.
Revelation.
Revelations 3 and 15. I was just in Romans. Y'all want to flick your pages quick enough, don't wait.
Bring it out, up.
The book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot.
He said, I know thy works that thou art not neither cold nor hot. That means you straddling the fence, man. Read.
I would thou wert cold or hot.
He said, look here, pick a side. Don't go all the way cold or don't go all the way hot, man. Pick a side. He don't give a damn how you pick it. Pick one, man. Because you can't do nothing against the truth, man, but for the truth, man. Read.
So then, because thou art lukewarm,
He said, but if you lukewarm, read.
and neither cold nor hot,
Uh-huh.
I will spew thee out of my mouth.
Man, he will put you to death for that thing, man. If you want to play around the game, guess what, man? He's not gonna play the games with you, man. You got to pick a side, man. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 14. You got to pick a side for our Most High, man. You should want to pick a side, man. Being in this truth, who is in this truth and don't want the truth, man? How could you be in the truth and don't even want it, man? You might well stay outside the truth, man. You might well go and celebrate your birthdays and your Christmases, Thanksgiving.
Celebrate your lives.
Celebrate all the lives, man, that you can celebrate, man. You might well go and celebrate those things, man. Because if you want to play the game, that's what the Most High saying, you might well go and go do that.
And when you when you choose not to be in the truth, at least you're not learning or know the Most High. Because he said it's worse if you know the Most High and still be sinning. So he like, man, just do one or the other. Look, get all the way with me, or all the way out. That way I know how to deal with you. So like he said, man, make that choice, man. And make the right choice. Ain't nothing right but this truth anyway.
That's right. Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 14.
Reads, seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into the heavens,
That's Christ, man. Read on.
Yahushua, the son of Yah.
Read.
Let us hold fast our profession.
Let's hold fast our profession. What that even mean? Acts chapter 1, verse 9. Got to hold fast our profession, man. Get there, I'll read it.
The book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 9. And when he had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight.
They're saying the same thing that we were reading in Hebrews, man. Read.
And while they looked steadfastly towards heaven,
Uh-huh.
as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel,
Now 2 men stood by them in a white pearl, man. The angels, man. Read.
which also said, Ye men of Galilee,
Uh-huh.
why stand ye gazing up in the heaven?
They said, why stand ye gazing up in the heavens, man? Read.
This same Yahushua,
Mhm.
which is taken up from you into heaven,
Read.
shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
He said the same way you seen him going to heaven, that's exactly how he coming back down. This is the profession that we must hold fast, that we got a deliverer that's coming back to redeem us. The same way he left, the same way he coming back to redeem us, man. He gonna crack them dang on skies, he gonna come back, and he gonna bring judgment to the world, man. He coming back, but he coming back as a God. He ain't coming back as no man. He coming back to rule this world in righteousness, and he gonna rule over the other nations with a rod of iron, man. Because they got to pay for giving us all this filthy food. They got to pay for them chemtrails in the skies, man. They got to pay for putting this education system for our children, man. All these things that they put out for our people, they have to pay for these things. Giving us taxes after tax after tax, man.
These murders.
Gun and these murders. They got to pay for these things, man. Let's go back to Hebrews chapter 4 and verse 15. They got to come back. They got to pay for these things, man. Same way he cracked them skies, same way he coming back to redeem us, man.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 4 and verse 15. For we have not an high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities,
Read.
but was in all points tempted like as we are.
See, because guess what? Christ was tempted like we were, but he was tempted to the highest, man. Read.
Yet without sin.
But he still didn't have no sin in him, man. Because go ahead.
My bad.
No, go ahead.
That's why he is your mediator. Because the fact of the matter, he went through the same thing y'all going through. So it's nothing he hadn't been through. He just didn't fail at when he was going through it. That's why he was able to be a mediator when you praying, that he's able to tell the Most High what you talking about. Because the Most High ain't never dealt in the flesh. But Yahweh Shah did. So that's why he's a mediator for you. Because he dealt with everything that we all going through. Go ahead, Bob.
Come. And like I break it down. That's the reason. Now, I ain't gonna get this because it's gonna take me too far away from where I'm gonna go. Like I was saying, that's the reason why Christ, he dealt with the same thing we dealt with, man. When people sitting up there acting like they got all these problems, I'm gonna tell you, man. Even looking at the congregation, looking at youth, man, looking at the views on YouTube, looking at the people that comment on there and on Facebook. People dealing with all different things. Don't you think the people that's teaching these classes don't deal? Y'all think we don't deal with things, man? But when you come in here and then you come around a group of people that where love's supposed to be, and you crap on these people, you're not doing a justice for your brothers and sisters, man. Yahweh, he put it out there and he showed us the way to go. We got to walk ye in it, man. Read verse 16 out.
Verse 16. Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace.
He said, let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, man.
That we may obtain mercy.
That we can obtain mercy from him, man. Read.
And find grace to help in time of need.
See, because grace does help us in time of need, man. It's there set up that some things that, guess what, you don't know if a person, because a lot of times people think that you can't keep the whole law. Yes, you can't keep the whole law, because what if you go into Walmart, somebody's on their period. You don't supposed to be touching things behind somebody that's on their period, and you touch the same basket somebody touched was on their period. You just seeing, you didn't know that you're seeing. That's why you can't keep the whole law. Some of the laws for women, some of the laws for men. That's why we can't keep the whole law. Nobody can. But the things that Christ had to fulfill, he so did, man.
And this is what, give me a precept, give me Revelation chapter 12 and verse 11. Like I say, I know we in the class Tuesday, but we gonna go into this because we seen brothers in wasn't here when we went over Revelation 12. But adding on to what Ox said, this is why we have this. This is why Christ came. And I'm glad I made that point. When you get there, Captain Nehemiah, read that
The
point.
book of Revelations, chapter 12 and verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Read that again, Ox.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Because that's really how we overcome situations that we deal with, by the blood of the Lamb. Because like Ox said, sometimes we do deal in ignorant sins or unnotable sins. Just the perfect example like he brought out. You didn't know that sister's situation. You came back and did that. So this is why the Most High God came and gave us grace, because guess what? We don't know who we are. We scattered as a nation of people. We now coming back into keeping or starting to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So you're going to be off on some things. But like we say, don't be trying to look for loopholes when the scriptures are saying it plain. That's one thing that, guess what, we cannot do in this truth, man. Read that from the top again, huh?
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. And by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death.
Because we don't love these lies. If brothers love the lies and sisters love the lies that they're in right now, guess what? You got to think again. You got to check your spirit. Because guess what? Our lives are supposed to be ruling this planet Earth, man. Supposed to be keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments. Supposed to be passing it down from our churches to our churches. So we don't love these lies, man. Go ahead, Art.
And another thing a lot of people want to use too, when they be saying, well, Yahweh Shah keep, because he was the son of, Yahweh Shah was a spirit put in a body. You got a spirit put in a body. That's why he came down to show you how to defeat sin by following his ways. And if we start following what he do, we can do the same thing and walk the same way he walked. But we use that as an excuse. Oh, nah, he was the son of God. Ain't you a son of God? But he was a spirit. Ain't you a spirit? So therefore you can't use that as an excuse. That's why he came to show you how to do it. I don't want to fast today. Well, try 40 days. Go ahead.
Go back to read that Hebrews 4 and 16 again, man.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 4 and verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Let us therefore come boldly into the throne of grace.
Let us therefore come into boldly the throne of grace. Because we know that grace is there for us, but don't misuse grace, man. Read.
That we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 3 and verse 9. Because thing is, all nations wasn't given grace. Guess what? They talk about grace in the, you know, all our what you call it, mothers, fathers. We up under grace. But guess what? All nations wasn't given grace. Let's deal with that one. Deal with that all nations wasn't given grace. So when did he give grace to the Edomites?
Because like you say, the book of Obadiah say otherwise.
Say otherwise. When you get there, I'll read it.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth.
He said, they that put their trust in the Most High gonna always understand the truth, man. Read.
Read it now.
I said 3 and 9.
2 and 9.
Yeah,
I said 2. Well, it's 3 and 9.
3 and 9.
No.
Okay.
You said 2 and 9. But he reading it right.
Okay, we got it.
Right.
Yeah, you good.
They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth. And such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints.
Who the grace and mercy to?
To his saints.
So where the rest of the nations at? Because what's the precept to the saints? What you got out?
Psalm 148 and 14.
The saints is Psalm 148 and 14. The grace and mercy came to his saints. That's all precept need on it out. I know. That's who he gave it to, man. He ain't gave it to all nations. So that somebody got another scripture to show that he gave it to all nations, we need to see it, man. Because he only gave it to us. Read on up.
And he has care for his elect.
And he have care for his elect, man. This thing breaks down wonderfully, man. If we just use it and apply it, man.
Who the elect, Brother Samuel? That's your precept, right? I was about to say.
Isaiah 45 and 4.
All praise. He gives another one.
Patience.
Gone. Let's go Deuteronomy chapter 5 verse 29, man. See, because this thing was only given to us, man. That's why we got grace. Grace and the law goes hand in hand, man. Because it was not for grace. If it was not for grace, if a person was a homosexual, you'd be walking down the street, the elder see it, his ass was out of there. If somebody was a murderer, if he don't make it to the refuge city, he out of there. If you see an adulterer and he don't make it to the refuge city, his butt is out of there. And those refuge cities was set up so you can get tried. And when you made it and you got tried, you still might get put to death. But you got to prove what you going through. You got to prove it. It's got to be justified. Because if you don't, because they gonna open up that. Guess what the Levites used to do? They will open up the law book. And they'll sit there and listen to you. Come on. What you got to say now? Now what you got to say? Now, the was gonna flip them page. And they gonna tell you what the law said. The law say take you to the back and stone you. Guess what's gonna happen? You was gonna get stoned. But since since the grace came, since Yahushua gave us grace, that's why we not stoned, man. That's why. There's a lot of us supposed to be already stoned.
A lot. All
and
of
I'm
us.
one of them.
All of us.
All of us. Supposed to have been already gone, man. Grace kept us. It's the reason why we in the truth right now. We up under grace. Reason why. Go ahead, up.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 5 and verse 29.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that there were such an heart in them, that they would fear me.
See, this is the Most High said they had such a heart. He just looking at it. They said, man, should they have such a heart that they fear me, man? Read.
And keep all my
And
commandments
keep all his commandments. Read.
always,
Always.
that it might be well with them
Mm-hmm.
and with their children forever.
For how long?
Forever.
That's how long the laws last, man. They last forever, man. It ain't nowhere around keeping the laws forever. Precept, 2nd Esdras, chapter 9:37, man. Precept upon precept, man. No brother should know this precept right here. I know Benaniyah personally. I know he pulled this precept several times, man. 2nd Esdras 9:37. I know he done pulled this precept. I should be reading it off the top of their mind.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
Notwithstanding, the law perishes not,
Because the law don't pay. He said the law perishes not. Read it.
but remaineth in his force.
Because the law remaining in his force, man. That's why Christ said, think not that I come to destroy the law, man. Because the law remains in his force, man.
What
Go-
brother got?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
What brother got the precept for that right quick? What you got, Doc? Brother Joseph?
Matthew 9 and 17.
What you got, Brother Stephen? No, for 2nd Esdras 9 and 36, 9 and 37.
Luke 16 and 17.
That's pretty good. That's a good one. We can roll with it. Read that out. Luke 16 and 17. Yeah.
The book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 17. And it is easier for heaven and earth to pass than one tittle of the law to fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That same thing with what's the name of Matthew 5 and 17. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, I can see. So I can see that. But like we say, even within that, we want something to hit a little even hard. When you say it, all right off the back, man, they know. Romans 7 and 1. Brothers write that precept next to 2nd Esdras 9 and 36. Yeah, let's get it right quick. Romans 7 and 1. Precepts with 2nd Esdras 9 and 37.
The book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 1. Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how that the law has dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
Saying the same thing, the law perisheth not, as long as he liveth. So as long as you live, you got to keep the commandments. So these is two cut scriptures. And guess what? You can precept that with what the brothers brought out. Matthew 5 and 16 and Luke 16 and 19.
That's where they get that, they with the force.
17, 16 and 17. Thanks, Alex.
Come. Let's go to
The force and stuff they get. That's what they get.
let's go to Sirach, chapter 15 and verse 20, man. Just hitting these little quick precepts, man. Because the thing is, we got to work on our spirits, man. I know when brothers and sisters, they fasting, they praying. All praise to the Most High. Brothers and sisters been fasting on these Tuesdays, man. Trying to get brothers and sisters to girth their loins up. But when brothers and sisters fasting, they need to be throwing them prayers up with that thing too, man. No, 15 and 20. Sirach chapter 15 and verse 20.
The book of Sirach, chapter 15 and verse 20. He has commanded no man to do wicked.
Because the Most High said he ain't command no man to do wickedness, man. Read.
Neither has he given any man license to sin.
But he ain't gave no man a license to sin. A lot of times, brothers and sisters, I mean, we see sometimes, man. And you know, people come out with different doctrines. We see different doctrines that people bring out, Sometimes we tackle the doctrines that they bring out. Sometimes we don't even say a word, man. Man, scriptures say what they say, man. They say what they say. People want to put a difference in what the Most High, because they want to fit this Bible to their lifestyle, man. It's easy to fit this Bible to your lifestyle, but it's harder to fit your lifestyle to the Bible. James chapter 1 and verse 13. It's easy to fit your. It's easier for you to fit this Bible to your lifestyle. I can be like, man, now I ain't just gonna keep the Sabbath today, or I ain't gonna go out there and do the work on the Sabbath. But when the scripture says otherwise, that be on you. I'm gonna ask you something. Do y'all, when you see brothers missing the Sabbath day, not putting the work in, guess what? I'm gonna ask you something. Did you see one of these brothers miss? One of these brothers at the table miss? Don't your head hurt on the Sabbath sometimes? Don't you feel sick on the Sabbath sometimes? Don't you got family problems on the Sabbath sometimes? Do y'all got the same thing? I got the same thing too. But guess what? I guarantee you, them brothers ain't gonna miss. I guarantee you, the brothers don't put work right here with the congregation. Well, I guess you bet you them brothers out somewhere else. I bet you they still putting their work in.
Guess what, man? Brothers don't want to miss. I don't want to miss
for
the
real,
Sabbath.
man.
I enjoy coming, seeing my brothers and sisters, like-minded people that's on one accord with setting our nation back up on the planet Earth again.
Real.
And I love that thing, man. There's nothing more beautiful to come in and see sisters that's in order. You know, seeing brothers in order, that's God their household according to the Bible. There is nothing more beautiful, and I constantly want to be around it. I want to be around it as much as I can, man. As much.
And you should want to. But guess what? Sometimes people don't want to because they got their own thing going on. They want to trim their ways. Can't trim your ways in this walk, man. Read it up.
The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 13. Let no man say, when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yah.
Because guess what? I guarantee you can go within a month and brothers gonna read this precept, man. Because dealing in the spirit, you're gonna always read James, man. James help you to deal with that spirit, man. Read up.
Neither tempteth he any man.
He said, neither tempted he man, any man. He ain't give us no license to do anything that was terrible, man, or wrong. Read.
But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust. That's how you being tempted, of your own lust. Stuff that you want to do. Can't back away from this truth, man. And you think that the more you want the Most High to hear you, you can't back away from it, man. He take one step, you should take one step. He grow you in this aspect, keep getting the growth. Some people stunt their growth because when they start moving and they see the growth in them, ooh, man, they'll fall back, man. Can't get these puffed up spirits, man. The more we learn, the more humble we be. The more we learn, it ain't the more puffed up we be. Because when you get puffed up, you get knocked right back down to square one again, man. Done seen the two happening. We done seen the best of the best get taken down, man. The best of the best. And sometimes, and guess what? Some of the people know the best of the best is being tucked down in front of the whole world right now. And seeing them. Some of the best street teachers, man. Some of the best classroom teachers, man. Getting took down through there, man, and making it looking as a mockery. And they think what they doing is the right way, and they teaching lies, man.
Mr. Ash, Yashua, Mr. Banging on Esau. That brother done went all the way backwards, man. Don't have to keep the commandments, what he say now.
Everybody can be saved now.
Boy, that's terrible, man. Go ahead, Op.
Sirach 32 and 17.
The book of Sirach, chapter 32 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
A sinful man will not be reproved.
Hey, who? Hey, what kind of man?
A sinful man will not be reproved.
We already know God is not the author of that sin. But read on up.
But findeth an excuse according to his
Find the excuse to what?
according to his will.
To his will. So it's always you. You can't put that blame on, oh, well, brother said this to me, and well, sister said this. Well, God put me in that situation. Yeah, he did. But he always made a way for you to get up out of it. So he found a reason for his will. That means you had something that you want to be doing, that you want to do at that time.
And hold up, he had a way for you, not a damn loophole way.
That's right.
You know, Israel, boy, we take them shortcuts, boy.
Excuse me. Well, you know, the Sabbath, it fell in like I always say. We big on excuses too, man. I know I was in the world, but I bring you a cold-blooded excuse, man. May even drop a tear with it, man.
I guess what? That's why Israel can't run no marathons, boy. We try to find a way around, boy.
For real, man.
Look at all, man. Yeah, you can run through that path right there, take you all the way to the other side. Oh, for real? We'll get killed trying to this loophole, man.
We be coming to the finish line slanted. We done took the shortcut.
For real. Read 18.
Verse 18. A man of counsel would be considerate.
But this is the reason why a lot of people go off, because they don't take counsel. There's a lot of reasons why you be on Facebook and people put out these retarded, I'm gonna say retarded doctrines, man. Retarded doctrines. Well, you know, we are real sheep. We ain't just real sheep, and we shouldn't eat things anymore. Brother, stop it, man. You ain't taking no counsel on that. Who are you gathering with to see if you really got the right understanding of this thing? So a lot of times when you do go off this with your own will and you ain't taking counsel, go to somebody, see if they get the same understanding. Let's get to the scripture. Read on.
But a strange and proud man.
That's that pride on a lot of us too. We want to make loopholes in it because we still got a little pride on us. Well, I can do this and still get away with it. Thinking you can outbeat or trick God. Come on, man. He got all the trickery. Well, then, read on.
Is not daunted with fear. Even when of himself he has done without counsel.
He has done without counsel. He had done without counsel. So a lot of things, man, brothers and sisters, we don't counsel and get the proper understanding of what's going on, man. We just throw it out there. First thing we see, first thing we hear. That's going to get us in trouble every time. And a sinful man won't be reproved, man. He won't. So there go that excuse. Well, I thought that, I think the Most High going to care about you. Talking about I thought. When he gave you the guideline, Baruch 4 and 4 say we are happy to know that the things that are pleasing to God are known to us. He ain't lying. So we know what it takes. But I thought, nah, let's go get you one. They say a heap of trouble. That's all I got out.
You got something? Go ahead.
Going into that puffed up what I talking about. Let's see. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 6. Well, like when we taking our offices, man, and we doing everything we supposed to do in this truth, we got to stay humble, man. Can't get puffed up in this truth, man, because we already got a king, and he already died for us to give us that grace that we got right now. So we just need to be humble and thankful that we got woken up.
Yeah. Book of 1 Corinthians.
4 and 6.
1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 6. And these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sakes, that ye might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written.
Not to do what up?
Not to think of men above that which is written. That no one of you be puffed up for one against another.
You can't be puffed up one against another in this truth, man. They go for leadership, they go for the women, they go for the soldiers, they go for the children. We have to remain and stay humble throughout our walk in this truth like Christ did. Son of God.
Let's go back to James, man. Let's go back to James. We on verse 14?
Yeah.
Read verse 14 again.
The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust has conceived.
So, but when the lust conceived you, man, when now you in the middle of this sin, man, read.
It bringeth forth sin.
That's when the sin comes, man. When you pull that lust, oh, well, man, I think, man, I'm just gonna go and try it anyway. Try it. Next thing you know, see your children over there getting sick, man. You gotta take them to the hospital, man. Because the judgment just ain't gotta come on you, it can come on somebody next to you. Read.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
Sin bring forth death, man. See, the thing is, when our household, matter of fact, let's go get it. Deuteronomy. Hold up, let's go Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Hold it. I think they're kind of looking like, damn, where do you get that from? You can come on to YouTube. I ain't come on to your children. Let's see what the Bible say.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you.
He said he called heaven and earth to record this day against you, man. Read.
That I have set before you, life and death,
Read.
blessing and curses.
Read.
Therefore, choose life,
Uh-huh.
that both thou and thy seed may live.
No, just you.
Thou and thy seed may live.
Just you and your seed may live, man. We got choices to make, man. Hey, scriptures say what they say, man. Matter of fact, stay where you at in Deuteronomy. We're going to skip right over, jump over to 28 and 47. Because this is, finding a loophole, this is one of the curses that the Most High. Look here, man. We didn't respect his laws, man. We should have been happy to do his laws, man. So now, since we're not happy to do his laws, it became a curse to us, man. I brought this class out, man, just what, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
See, because we supposed to been seeing his law, statutes, and commandments, like I said, man, happy to come here on the Sabbath, happy to do his work. We supposed to be happy to be keeping his feast days. We should be happy to do these things, man. Read.
For the abundance of all things.
For the abundance of all things, we supposed to be happy to do these things. Read on, now.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
But since you don't want to be happy doing what God tell you to do, now you got to get up and go work for your enemies, man. This is what I'm talking about. This is one silly thing that we put on ourselves because we wasn't happy to serve our God, man. We should have been happy to serve him, man. Happy to do these laws, statutes, and commandments. But we got to practice this righteous act right now, man. That's how we're going to make it to the kingdom. If we don't practice this thing right now, man, we not going to make it, man. Because I know our brother got all kind of doctrines saying, even saying that, well, these spirits going to come back in the kingdom, hey, brother. Then why you got to keep the commandments right now to make it? You got to prove that, man. Just mouth lip service sound real good. You got to prove that thing, man. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
The Lord sent these people against us because we wasn't happy to do his law, statutes, and commandments. So guess what? In our everyday walk, when you not happy to do law, when you trying to find a loophole in law, statutes, and commandments, he gonna send something against you. Point blank, period. Read.
In hunger.
In what?
In hunger.
In hunger. Read.
And in thirst.
And in thirst. Read.
And in nakedness.
These are street precepts that we break down every week, man. For dang show, we break these down every week. Read.
And in want of all things.
Everything that you got to go get, you got to go get from somebody else because we wasn't happy to do God's law, statutes, and commandments, man. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed
Now
thee.
he destroyed us, man. We destroyed because a lot of our 2/3 of our people, they gonna celebrate birthdays and Christmas and holidays and everything else, man. Because we wasn't happy to do his law, statutes, and commandments. We should be happy, man, to do this, man.
And the thing about it, what he did was take you back to your enemies and showed you an unjust system, some unjust laws, some unjust rules, some unjust decisions made by the top-notch government. Now you should be like, man, let me go back to the Most High laws because they just ain't good. We just come out, we looking at it, this ain't no good. That's why he sent you back. Okay, since you don't want to look at mine happily, I'm going to show you an unjust system with unjust laws. And they're going to go against you Negroes. Next, go ahead.
Go back to James. Obviously, he wants some more on it. You want some more on it? I don't eat on it.
The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 15. Then when lust has conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brother. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above, and cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Meaning the Lord is not going to change, man. So when we get into this walk, we cannot change. We only have to get better. And the more, like I said, the more we grow, the humbler we're supposed to get. That's the whole thing about controlling our spirit. The Most High ain't going to change, so we can't change. They're getting worse than what we was before we came into this truth. We're supposed to get better, man, with these laws. So we can't get puffed up. We can't get big-headed. We can't get none of those things. We just got to be humble and continue to do the work and continue to put our bricks in, man. That's what this whole thing is about. We can't get above the ones that's already written. That ain't happening. All we can do is do the part that we are being issued.
Go ahead, man. Let's go to Acts, man. This last thing we're gonna go into is Acts chapter 10, man. I know so many brothers think they can still eat pork. What Peter said. We're gonna go break that thing down today.
Peter gonna get a lot of people killed, man. Gonna get a lot of brothers and sisters killed, man, because they thinking he's saying something and he's not saying that, man.
Just understanding Peter gonna get a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of times, just like even with Paul, what they say, a lot of people bearing false witness on Paul, man. Bearing straight false witness on Paul.
No
But they
doubt.
saying
You know, Paul gonna be probably one of the maddest when he come back.
real,
too.
boy.
Cause the whole church use him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, uneducated when they speak on this word. Well, I can imagine what he gonna be.
Said, Lord, they lying on me. We say, are they lying on
He
me?
probably be begging, nah, let me get them. Let me get them. And like, he probably have them all in this league.
Started one with this thing, boy.
The book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Caesarea,
We got it out.
called Cornelius,
Uh-huh.
a centurion of the band called the Italian band.
God dang, they got us, man. Cornelius is an Edomite. I don't think so, buddy. Lie.
A devout man.
Hold up. He said he was a centurion band. He said he was a centurion of the band called an Italian band. He just basically was a police officer. He was in the military, man. The same way. Wait a minute. What's the Acts 18:2? Just like our beloved brother Aquila.
The book of Acts, chapter 18 and verse 2. And found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy.
He said he was from Italy. So we had Jews in Italy too, man. We had Jews in Italy, man. They were just a citizen like we in America. Just because you're American don't mean that guess what, man? We still the Jews of the Bible, man.
And if you know Italian history, part of the diaspora was them kicking us out of Italy. So if you go, they got that in their history. So if we got kicked out of somewhere, that means we was there. You know what I'm saying? So our people is everywhere. Just like the Lord had prophesied, we're going to be in the four corners of the earth. That's narrow-minded thinking that they put on us to think that we're not in all these places. We've been in all them places, and we still in all them places right now today.
We go back. Let's go back.
Loophole like a mother.
Then not on that.
I gotta keep reading that.
At the end of Hebrews, Timothy was writing that last chapter of Hebrews. Timothy wrote that from Italy. Because that's what we were doing. We were in Italy teaching our people who diaspora there. Just a little.
Going back to that Hebrews chapter 10, verse 2. Read that for me again.
Acts
Capt.
chapter 10.
I mean Acts.
I need to finish that out.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Go ahead, man. Finish that out. Yeah, go ahead. No, go
read
ahead.
it first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Book of Acts chapter 18 and verse 2. And found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy with his wife Priscilla, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome, and came unto them. He asked.
That's what I was breaking down. They was putting us up out of there, man. Same thing I was breaking down. Let's go back to
They
Acts.
was keeping the laws and not keeping the law. They were just all the Jews go. So then you think about it, if they leave and go to another country, they looking for jobs. So the same thing, you got Cornelius. He needed a job too. He got a family.
That's right.
That's right.
So he joined the military or a band of men, a militia.
That's right.
Let's go to Acts chapter 10.
And read verse 2 again, but we always want to keep it in a total context because what Deuteronomy 4:27, what Israel is scattered amongst all nations. So it's not far-fetched to think that or to know that Cornelius is an Israelite. That's not far-fetched, man, when we scattered everywhere. That's one of our curses. But I want you to read verse 2 again. I'm going to ask the brother a question too. Oh, yeah.
You got it, though.
No, let him read it, then you go in there and ask him.
Read that for me right quick, huh?
The book of Acts chapter 10 and verse 2. A devout man, and one that feareth God with all his house.
It says a devout man. Brother Nathan, y'all, what does that mean? Now, you know I'm coming for brothers want to talk.
We won't talk. It's time to
Come
get
on
it.
with it.
It's time to get it.
Don't bag up now. Come on, because I'm looking at brother. You got something? What it mean? What a devout man mean?
The devout man mean a man that is humble and a man that puts God first.
That's
Yeah,
true,
that's
but make it a little bit more plain for us. Help him out, Shia.
Devout man is a man who keeps all the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord.
A man that's devoted to keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. Exactly. So when brothers are saying that, it's certain words in there that give you clues that this man is an Israelite. A devout man. Ain't nobody devout to keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments like Israelites. What you got, Brother Shana?
Another meaning would committed.
Exactly. Commitment.
And the crazy thing is, our forefathers wasn't keeping the laws at this time. That's why they was going back teaching to keep the laws. Now you telling me somebody of another nation was 100% devoted to keeping the laws, and our people wasn't doing it, and they gonna give him credit for that? Come on now, that makes no sense.
Let's go back.
That's another point, like y'all said.
Let's go back.
The other nations don't fear God, man.
And the Most High of Israel too, not all these other gods they got. He talking about the God of Israel.
Acts chapter 10 and verse 2.
A devout man, and one that feared God with all his house.
With all his house. Not just him, his whole house. Read.
Which gave much alms to the people.
He gave, God dang. These things be clear, man. Gave much alms to the people, man. Read.
And prayed to God always.
And pray to God always, man. Read.
He saw in a vision, evidently about the 9th hour of the day, an angel of God coming into him,
You know,
saying unto him, Cornelius.
now he said an angel of God came into him. He said he had not dealt so with any nation, man.
No doubt.
Come on, man. These light precepts, man. Brothers should have Joel 2 and 27. Y'all should have things like that already written down. These things should be light precepts that brothers should have, man. Well, guess what? When we breaking this thing down, we talking to people that know the law, man.
And he prayed always to the God of Israel, but he heeded.
Come on, this thing gonna be broke down some more, man. Read on up.
Verse 4. And when he looked on him, he was afraid and said, What is it, Lord?
He said, man, he's the Lord dealing with him, man. So I guess he's dealing with an Edomite right now, man. Man, they got to be out their mind, man. They got to be out their mind, man. Read.
And he said unto him, Thy prayers, thine alms, and thine alms are come up for a memorial before God.
So the Most High had respect on his prayers in his arms.
Charity.
Guess what? I thought the Most High don't hear sinners, man. They got to deal with it, man. Yeah, I know these Christians, they watching. I hope y'all on the comment board. Leave some comments on there, man. Read.
And now send men of Joppa and call for one Simon, whose surname is Peter.
So he finna go sit and he might go talk to Peter, man.
Stop in Joppa.
In Joppa?
Stop.
Come on, man. They got to be out their mind, man. Read up.
He lodged with one Simon, a tanner, whose house is by the seaside.
So a tanner is like a person that deals with leather. Read.
He shall tell thee what thou oughtest to
Now,
do.
so guess what? What the Most High told Cornelius to say, he telling Cornelius what to tell Peter. Reason why he telling Peter this, because he's finna give Peter a dream. And we're going to this dream, and we're going to break this dream down, man. So that's why that's why Cornelius, that's why the Most High telling Cornelius to go to Peter and to go to this place, because he finna tell Peter what to do. Read on up.
In verse 7. And when the angel which spake unto Cornelius was departed, he called 2 of his household servants, and a devout soldier of them that waited on him continually.
Read.
And when he had declared all these things unto them, he sent them to Joppa.
So after he got the word from the Most High, now they headed on to Joppa to go talk to Peter, man, which was the head apostle at the time, man. Read.
Verse 9. On the morrow, as they went on their journey and drew nigh unto the city, Peter went up upon the housetop to pray about the 6th hour.
Now, said Peter, he said Peter went out and, like what you call, what the Christian counterpart say, he went into his prayer closet. He went to go pray to the Most High, man. Read on.
And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they made ready, he fell into a trance.
So that means he fell into a trance, man. Deep sleep. While he was praying, he fell into a trance. A deep sleep. Read on up.
And saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him.
He said, and a certain vessel descending unto him. Let's go get that vessel right quick, man. Let's go to Hosea 8:8, man. Said a certain vessel. Ascended unto him. You get there, I'll read it.
The book of Hosea, chapter 8 and verse 8. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure.
See, because guess what? Israel was swallowed up. Now we was among the Gentiles. Same vessel that was finna get ready to give Peter the understanding of what he finna get. This was among the Gentiles where Peter was at.
You gotta pull that lesson out. That 147, 19,
He did.
Psalm. You gotta pull that. Because the Most High dealing with him and he got him in a trance, he's fasting, and then he finna send him on a mission. And that's why you gotta pull that scripture. So y'all think that y'all know this guy gotta be of the Most High. He gotta be an Israelite.
Book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation.
So anytime he's showing anybody anything, it's only the Israelites. That's it. That's the only time. He said he ain't doing this with nobody else. So that see, people want to say about well, he don't say it. Well, you got to use the context clues to get the meaning. And the precept will let you know that Cornelius was an Israelite.
Let's go back, man, to Acts chapter 10, man. The vessel that he was talking about, man. Y'all should have that precept written down by that now. Let's go back, Acts chapter 10, verse 8.
The book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse
11. Verse 11, Shalaka 10.
The book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse 10. And he became very hungry and would have eaten, But while they made ready, he
Uh-huh.
fell into a trance,
Uh-huh.
and saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him,
Uh-huh.
as it had been a great sheet net at the four corners.
It said it had to be in a great sheet net at the four corners. Go get that. Deuteronomy chapter 32 and verse 26.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and verse 26.
Uh-huh.
I said, I will scatter them into the corners.
Uh-huh.
I will make them the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
See, he said he gonna scatter us into the corners, man. He gonna make us cease from among men. The Most High, y'all know where we was scattered abroad. We still scattered. Let's go back, Acts chapter 10. He was scattered, y'all know we were scattered into the four corners, man. These simple light precepts that brothers should have in their arsenal, man.
Book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
And saw heaven open, and a certain vessel descending unto him, as it had been a great sheet net at the four corners, and let down to the earth.
Uh-huh, read.
Wherein were all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth, and wild beasts, and creeping things, and fowls of the air.
Read.
And there came a voice to him, Rise, Peter, kill and eat.
He said, do what, Peter?
Rise,
What-
Peter,
What Christ say to Peter?
rise, Peter, kill and eat.
He told him to go kill and eat, man. Uh-oh, we can eat pork now, y'all. Come on, man. If that's what they're saying, we're gonna let these scriptures talk and see what it really and see what they really saying, man. We're gonna let these scriptures talk, man. See what they really saying, man. Because a lot of times people, wow, man, they just want to tempt the Most High God, man. Like you said, man, that's just
I don't
crazy.
even know how to. And they'll pull this. And do anybody see pork there?
They just seen all manner of four-footed beasts of the earth.
I mean, like, yeah.
Kill meat.
And that's what they thinking. All manner. No, all the ones that's clean is what it's talking about.
But
In that case, creeping things is in there too. And what's creeping things? Rats,
Bugs.
bugs. So they say you can eat everything like Esau do on Naked and Afraid.
Let's go back. 10.
The book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
But Peter said,
Mm-hmm.
Not so, Lord,
Mm-hmm.
for I have never eaten anything that is common or unclean.
He said, I ain't never ate anything that was common or unclean, man.
And the voice spake unto him
He said, but the voice spake unto him, read.
again the second time,
Mm-hmm.
What God has cleansed, that call not thou common.
Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 23. Let's go break that thing down.
But
man.
even before we get there, he said, No, Lord,
Mhm.
I have never eaten anything uncommon or unclean. Peter is telling you right there, he is not breaking the dietary law. Plainly, right there, he's telling you, he ain't eating no pork. That's plain as day, he's not breaking the commandments. Go ahead,
Even the Lord couldn't get him to break.
for real.
He denied the Lord. No, Lord, not so, Lord.
Because like we said, y'all got to put y'all minds in the people that we reading about.
Come.
It was already understood about the dietary laws. This wasn't something that they were struggling with like how our people struggle with today. They had a good understanding of what to eat and what not to eat. So he knew that this wasn't going into that. He knew that. That's why he said what he said at first.
I don't even know nothing.
And also, I just did a class not too long ago going over Second Maccabees. What's that? With the mama and the seven sons, how they forced us to eat the pork. So why would the Lord in turn then allow us to eat the pork when we got tortured to get made to eat the pork?
Because them seven sons and the mother, they would have did that in vain. That would have been number vanity.
Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 37 verse 23. Let's get something that cleansed, man.
Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols,
Read.
nor with their detestable things,
He said we shouldn't defile ourselves with their idols, nor their detestable things, man. Read.
nor with any of their transgressions.
Uh-huh.
But I will save them out of all their dwelling places,
Uh-huh.
wherein they have sinned,
Mm-hmm.
and will cleanse them.
And we'll do what?
Cleanse them.
This is the cleanses he talking about, the ones that's in our dwelling places, man. He gonna cleanse them. It's going into the idols and the detestable things that he's gonna cleanse, man, that we was doing. He's gonna wash it from us because some of our people were falling into that trap. And Peter must go to our people to let our people know these things, man. Read.
So shall they be my people,
Mhm.
and I will be their God.
He said, so shall I be their people. I mean, they're going to be my people and I'll be their God, man. Let's go back, man.
I want to read this precept right quick. This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 12. Now I beseech those that read this book that they be not discouraged for these calamities, but that they judge those punishments not to be for destruction, but for the chastising of the nation. So when we read about our people dying for being made to eat pork, this is to give us an idea of what not to do. So why in turn would the Lord turn around and tell Peter it's okay for you to eat pork, like the Christians say? That don't make no sense.
Come on, let's go back to Acts chapter 10 and verse 15.
The book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse 15.
Mm-hmm.
And the voice spake unto him again the second time.
Mm-hmm.
What God has cleansed, that call not thou common.
Now, he said, what God cleansed, what call not thou common? At first, we was reading up in Acts chapter 10 and verse 13, it was talking about the beast and all the creepy things. But when we get down further in this chapter, it's going to break down what those beasts and creeping things were. It's going to break down what he was talking about, go kill and eat. It's going to break it down. Line upon line and precept upon precept, it will break it down. We just read in Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 23 that he was going to clean all the detestable things, and he was going to cleanse all the what else? Detestable things, and what else?
The transgressions
And the transgression that he was going to cleanse.
and the idols.
And the idols. Shalak, and the idols. Those are things that he was going to cleanse. This right here was telling Peter that he was going to cleanse the northern tribe.
Yes, exactly.
That's all it's going to go into. I'm going to give y'all a spoiler alert because this is all going into the northern tribe. That's why he was telling Peter to do what he was doing, to go eat and kill. And it's going to explain itself, though.
How far are you going down on that?
I'm going to go all the way down, man. That's why I say we got to read that thing, man. Because they like to play around, and we got to go get it.
Yeah, they just finished the chapter out. They would have got what they said.
Come on. Read it.
Acts chapter 10 and verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
This was done thrice, and the vessel was received up again into heaven.
Read.
Now while Peter doubted in himself what this vision which he had seen to mean,
Because Peter didn't have no understanding what the vision was. But what did we read at the beginning of the chapter? The Most High had sent Cornelius over there to go talk to Peter. Because the Most High gave Peter a dream. He gave him this same, he gave Peter this dream, but he gave Cornelius the interpretation of the dream to go bring it to Peter. Read up.
the men which were sent from Cornelius
Mhm.
had made inquiry for Simon's house and stood before the gate,
Now they were trying to find Simon's house. Now when they found it, they stood before the gate. Read.
and called and asked whether Simon, which was surnamed Peter, were lodged there.
Okay, read on
While
now.
Peter thought on the vision, the Spirit said unto him, Behold, 3 men seek thee.
Now he said while Peter was sitting up there thinking about the vision that the Most High had gave him, because Peter like, dang man, why is he telling me to do this? Said the 3 men were standing at the gate though. Read on.
Arise, therefore, and get thee down, and go
Mhm.
with them, doubting nothing,
Doubting what?
doubting nothing.
He said arise and go with them. He said don't doubt nothing that they finna tell you. This is Peter talking in the spirit, man. When you're not led by the spirit, you can't catch it. But when you led by the spirit, you should be able to catch these things, man. Read on up.
For I have sent them. Then Peter went down to the men which were sent unto him
Mhm.
from Cornelius,
Uh-huh.
and said, Behold, I am he whom ye seek. what is the cause wherefore ye are come?
So Peter asked them, man, what? He said, man, what's the cause, y'all? We said, why did y'all even come down here, man? Read.
And they said, Cornelius the centurion,
Mhm.
a just man, and one that feared God, and of good report among all the nation of the Jews.
He said he had a good report among all the nation of the Jews. When you going to break this thing down, a lot of times, you know what, our Christian counterparts, wisdom too high for a fool, man. It said the nation of the Jews, because at the time, the Jews was one nation and Israel was one nation. They were separate nations. Because when Ezekiel chapter 37 is the breakdown of the two sticks, one nation, two nations making up to one nation, that's what Yahweh Shah was coming back to bring us back into the same nation, man, making us one nation again. It's just going to break it down. Scriptures say what they say, it's going to break it down. Read on up.
Read verse 22 again, Doc.
And they said, Cornelius the centurion, a just man.
Hey, what?
A just man.
Hey, what?
A just man.
What is the precept of that, Brother Brandon?
Romans 7:12.
Yeah, Romans 7 and 12. Read on up. Go ahead.
And one that feareth God, and of good report among all the nation of the Jews.
It said, among all the nation of the Jews. Now, y'all know what Jews are. That's Judah. He had good report amongst the southern tribe. Benjamin, Levite, and Judah. He had a good report amongst them.
Show me one Edomite that got a good report amongst the Jews. Just show me one in the Bible that had a good report amongst the Jews.
No, amongst all
the nation of the Jews.
Come on, man.
Animals,
Like we say,
birds.
yeah, for real. There's some trees too. Because, like we say, I always want to keep it in this historical context. What captivity were they in? The Roman captivity. So these are Edomites that's ruling over them and oppressing them. So they sure wasn't being friendly with them, man. Go ahead, Op.
Read on up.
Was warned from God by an holy angel.
He said, man, the Most High warned Cornelius by an angel, man. Read.
To send for thee into his house, and to hear words of thee. Then called he them in and lodged them.
So he told the men that was standing out there, he said, so since y'all sit by the Most High, come on in, man. Read on.
And on the morrow, Peter went away with them, and certain brethren from Joppa accompanied him.
Read.
And the morrow after, they entered in Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them, and had called together his kinsmen.
What did he say?
Called together his kinsmen.
Man, they can't get around this thing, man. Why would he call together his kinsmen? Who is his kinsman, man? They got to deal with these things, man. Read.
And near friends. And as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him and fell down at his feet and worshipped him.
So when Peter came in, Cornelius met him. And he fell down, man. He had respect unto Peter, man. Read.
But Peter took him up, saying, Stand up. I myself also am a man.
He said, man, stand up, man. I'm just a man, man. I'm just like you. I'm just a man. Read.
And as he talked with him, he went in and found many that were come together.
Now he found many people that was coming together because, you know, when Peter stepped on the scene, man, you know what? He top dog, man. Who don't want to go see Peter, man? Read on.
And he said unto them, Ye know how that is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company.
Now, who said the same thing, man? That a man that is a Jew to keep company. Read on.
Or come unto one of another nation.
Now come to another nation, man. We got to go break that thing down. Go back to Ezekiel chapter 38, man. Ezekiel 38. I think it's Ezekiel 38, man. No, it's 37. Ezekiel 37 and 22, man. Ezekiel 37 and 22, man.
We're going to read something on 28. I'm going to see if the brothers don't catch that thing. Because you really have to diligently read this word for word, man.
We ain't going to give it to them. We just going to go and break it down because a lot of them brothers going to take too long to probably get it. When you get there, I'll read it.
Book of Ezekiel chapter 37 and verse 22. And I will make them one nation.
The Lord said you're going to do what?
Make them one nation.
Read.
in the land upon the mountains of Israel. And one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations.
How many nations was Israel at the time?
Two nations.
It will no more be two nations, because we had split in 2 Kings, man. He said we'll be no more two nations. That's why I say it was unlawful for the Jews to go to another nation. They had went to the southern tribe, went to the northern tribe, man. Read.
And they shall be no more two nations. Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
He said, neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. Let's go back to Acts chapter 10, verse 28.
The book of Acts, chapter 10 and verse 28. And he said unto them, ye know how that is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation.
Hold up, man. Let's get some more. Let's go to John chapter 4 right quick. Let's get some more, man. John chapter 4 and verse 7. Brothers should have it written in their arsenal too. John chapter 4 and verse 7. You get there, I'll read it.
The book of John, chapter 4 and verse 7. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Yahweh saith unto her, give me to drink. For his disciples were gone away unto the city to buy meat.
So I ain't think they can eat meat,
Oh, they can't
Come
eat
on,
meat.
man. Stop
They
playing,
went,
man.
but they was with Christ and they went to go buy some meat.
Come on, man. Stop playing, man. Read on up.
Then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest a drink of meat, which am a woman of Samaria?
Read.
For the Jews have no dealing with the Samaritans.
Why did he say that? What precept? Brother should have that one. Isaiah 79.
Because give us some more understanding. What are Samaritans? They are. Well, what is Samaria? What is it? Don't, Cammy. You been down there and gave it to him.
You already
Say
gave
it,
it to him.
It's the capital of Ephraim.
That's what I say. Let's go back. John chapter 4 and go back to verse 9.
I know Officer already gonna help his boy out, man.
And it reads, then saith the woman of Samaria unto him, how is it that thou, being a Jew, askest a drink of meat, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealing with the Samaritans.
He said the Jews had no dealing with Samaritans. Why was jump down to verse 12. Watch this.
Verse 12. Art thou greater than our father
Man,
Jacob?
my bad. Jump up to verse 11 because we got to get that thing, man.
Verse 11. The woman saith unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with.
He said, I ain't got nothing to draw with. Read on.
And the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water?
He so because Christ told him, man, hey, if you drink out of this well, you have you won't thirst anymore. So read verse 12.
Art thou greater than our father Jacob?
So the woman in the Samaritans say, ain't y'all greater than our father? He said, are you greater than our father Jacob? Did y'all not catch that? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. He didn't say Abraham, Isaac, Esau. She said Jacob, didn't she? Come on, man. They got to deal with it. It said Jacob. He said, are you, she asked Christ, are you greater than our father Jacob? A lot of times people read, but they got to deal with what they just said right then. Because if she said she was a Samaritan woman and she's of Jacob, she didn't even know her history. That means that means somewhere down the line, she lost some history too. Because she clearly just said her forefather was Jacob.
Yeah, she came in a ladder range after generations after generations from learning to being when they separated. She came way later, so they've been practicing nothing but heathen religions and everything else. So the only thing she know her forefather Jacob, but she don't know the history was how it all transpired.
Let's go to John chapter 11 and verse 51.
book of John, chapter 11 and verse 51. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation.
He said Yahushua should die for that nation, man. Read on.
And not for that nation only.
Not for that nation only. Read on.
But that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad.
See, he should be gathering the children of God that were scattered abroad, man. This is the thing that Christ, hey, these things got to be fulfilled, man. Hey, they reading things about the Bible, but they got to deal with these things, man. This is what the same thing he was giving orders to Peter to go get the ones that were scattered abroad. Let's go back.
And Christians will use these scriptures to find loopholes for salvation for all people.
Right.
Or to think that it's talking about all people. But when you get precept upon precept, you clearly see that that's not the case.
Go on this. Read on up. Let's go back to Acts chapter 10, verse 28.
It reads, and he said unto them, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But Yah has shewed me that I should not call any man common or unclean.
He said, y'all told him, man, that he can't call any man common or unclean, man. This is talking about the northern and southern tribe, and it's been explained, man. Read on.
Hold up, y'all catch that, because Captain, we got to,
Go ahead.
because
Go ahead.
Captain Nehemiah, he gave y'all answers.
Yeah,
man.
he
Stop
did.
giving
He
them
did.
answers. Because he
Express
emphasized
the word,
on the
yeah.
man. Because up at the top it said what? Call no beast uncommon or clean, but now it's giving you the correct understanding that he's talking about man.
And when you go to that 15 where he says, what God had cleansed, that called not thou common, that's what he's talking about. Man, not the food.
Not the food. It's going into man. That's why when he told them, but y'all be go, my brothers be on it, man. Even though they done took over me, but that's okay though. But that beast he was talking about man.
That's right.
Because he's talking about call no man common or unclean. Read verse 29.
Verse 29. Therefore came I unto you without gainsay. As soon as I was sent forth, I asked therefore for what intent ye have sent for me. And Cornelius said, 4 days ago I was fasting until this hour.
Now Cornelius is breaking down what was said, man. Read on.
And at the 9th hour I prayed in my house, and behold, a man stood before me in bright clothing, and said, Cornelius, thy prayer is heard.
So if the Most High don't hear the other nations, why he said your prayer is heard, man? So because guess what? The Most High don't hear sinners. Hey, scriptures say what they say, man. If we got to pull it, we'll pull that too to prove that. And I know brothers know the precepts on that.
John 9:31.
Okay. Read.
And said, Cornelius, thy prayer is heard, and thine alms are had in remembrance in the sight of Yah.
So his arms were remembering in the sight of the Most High, man. Read on.
Send therefore to Joppa, and call hither Simon, whose surname is Peter.
Read.
He is lodged in the house of one Simon a tanner by the seaside,
Read.
who when he cometh shall speak unto thee. Immediately therefore I sent to thee, and thou hast well done that thou art come. Now, therefore, are we all here present before God to hear all these things that are commanded thee of Yah?
Read.
Then Peter opened his mouth and said, of a truth I perceive that Yah is no respecter of persons.
He said the Most High had no respect of person. But who did he have respect on, man? Israel. What precept y'all got? Y'all should have this thing lined up too.
Brother Yosef, what precept? We just brought this out.
Real.
At Sabbath. Down.
What you got, Shaya? Exodus chapter 2 and 25. He had respect unto Israel. Exodus chapter 2 and verse 25. Read on. We're going to read now a little bit more. Read on.
Verse 35. But in every nation, he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta break it down.
Because the next verse gonna break it down.
Oh, we got to use that though, because that's what Christians will close the book.
Mhm.
But in every nation, he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted of him. So, accepted with him, Salaki. So they'll use that to say that this is talking about the other nations, but just like Captain Jerubbaal said, we're going to read on down.
Mm-hmm. Read on.
Verse 36. The word which Yah sent unto the children of Israel.
The children of who?
The children of Israel.
They got to deal with it, man. Read it.
Preaching peace by Hamashiach Yahushua.
Uh-huh.
He is Lord of all.
He said he is Lord of all, the nation of Israel, man. There's no way else around it, man. Boy, they can sit there and play the games all they want to, man.
And it's consistent all the way through.
It is.
That he's talking to Israel. They just
Squeeze
ignore
it
that.
in.
When they see Israel, they ignore that word.
They
That's
ignore
all.
it. Where? I'm trying to figure out when we still talking about meat at.
Exactly.
Long ago.
Long ago.
For real, and I'm still trying to figure out where to talk about pork at too. And with that, we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.
We say keep the law, statutes, and commandments. So I guess we're going to get a law. What is that law for? Deuteronomy 1 and 17. Those that done gave to the GoFundMe and those that done gave to the Cash App, all praise to the Most High. That money will be used according to what the Most High will and not our own will. All of y'all. We will be going to Atlanta. Some of the brews will be going to Atlanta. We down there, man, holding camp or something. With a few camps down there. And the ones that want to get with us, man, hopefully we can get with more brews down there. Hey, we plan on coming back from Atlanta tired, man. So if any brews want to get up with us and have camp with us, hey, man, we working around the clock, man, down there. Hopefully, man, we're going to try to go down and put our brick in with a couple brews down there, too. And break bread with a couple brews. So, let's get along, man.
Get that Deuteronomy chapter 1, verse 17.
Let's
Go
go
into
on
that.
17.
No respect of person. So we know that the Most High God, he don't respect persons, but he only respect Israel. But even within that context, it's going into the leaders that's over the congregation. We shouldn't have respect of persons when it comes to brothers that give a lot of alms or brothers that don't have a lot of alms to give. The poor or the mighty. Read this out.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
Ye shall not respect persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great.
Read that again.
Ye shall not respect persons in judgment.
It says we should not respect persons in judgment. Just because a brother know a few precepts, guess what? If brother do something out of order, we got to bring the correction. Just because sister put in extra work, if sister get out of order, guess what? We got to bring the correction. There's no respect of persons among the nation of Israel. Read on up.
But ye shall hear the small as well as the great.
So guess what? We should hear the small matters as well as great matters. Read on up.
Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man, for the judgment is Yah.
So we can't fear the mean mugs, the ugly looks that we get. Guess what? We got to bring the judgment as it is written, man. Go ahead,
And the cause that is too hard for you, bring